Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at a massive bundle of RPG goodness from Caesar Inc. as I check out Doomsong. Okay, so I have here the complete Doomsong collection, and I thought I would open it up on camera because it was just too gorgeous not to. Now, I don't know if they're all coming like this, because there is a complete bundle which is everything from the Kickstarter more or less. But if it's not, I thought I'd show this anyway. So Doomsong from Caesar Inc. is a horror / macabre RPG set in a fantasy world that's sort of a medieval technology level, in which people play as gravediggers. They're part of a guild. So this came with the lovely guild seal, with the Doom coin stamped into it, and that's part of the mechanics of the game, where you can flip a Doom coin and you can either succeed or pass or increase your level of success or failure. But then once you flip that coin, that stays with you, and if anything bad happens to the party, you're the one who is doomed, and therefore it happens to you. So if somebody is randomly hit by a turtle falling from the air, whoever's got the Doom coin gets it, and it stays with you until somebody else in the party decides they need to flip it to change a failure to a success. So we'll start with that. I think I'm going to have to rip this, which is a shame because on this is actually the Doomsong itself, which they had written. So the lyrics are there, and the notes as well on this black tissue. Now, unfortunately, it didn't survive contact with the enemy. It was beautifully wrapped and cushioned within a little nest. I'm going to cut this. This is what happens when somebody makes a really nice product. You don't want to actually go near it. So I'll unfold my tissue paper and see how much of that I can save. And inside we have our books. Ooh. And there's something else. We'll have to pluck the Doom coin out. So we have a little A5e letter. Beautiful print and pictures on there. This is an extra monster war. I'll set that to one side. But inside we have two books. So I suppose this should be the other way around. Doomsong is your rules. And then the Lord Have Mercy Upon Us book by Morgan is the campaign. So on Caesar's website, you can buy everything from just the rules to the, I think it's called the Orchestra edition, which is that and the campaign, or you can get all the other all singing, all dancing parts. Let's pull back slightly and have a look inside. Okay, so let's take a closer look then at the rules. First off, there's a specific term for this print size. It's bigger than A5. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can see there's the front of the Doom coin embossed in this faux leather with a light grey finish. That is absolutely stunning. And the back has got part of the Doomsong. So also, it's not embossed, it's debossed. Sorry for all you screaming at the telly. It is debossed, not embossed. So we commend this body to the ground, returning it to the unspoilt light of the immortal. Do not look back, lost soul. Take this key, carry it through the fields of atonement, through the 7 gates of hell, to the slopes of Mount Empyrean and the immortal throne beyond. That was said is said. What was dead is dead. Stand silent, hold until the last day. So as you can see, it's a big book. There are some nice features here. First off, you have a little cover part where character sheets or notes can be sort of popped in so they don't get lost. I'll tuck the bookmark in there. The book is a remarkable 305 pages. So we have a full index, which I will forever be grateful for RPGs for having indexes. It makes me so much more aware of the lack of indexing in most games. If we go to the front, you can see the world of Panyum, as it is called. You have like your 7 circles, the different levels. The throne of the immortal is empty because I believe the immortal is dead. God is dead. The apocalypse is upon us. And Doomsong is about the last days. There again is the Doomsong. Oh, there we go. David Drew, is that? Do we have him in a typeface I can read because I'm old? No, I think it's David Drew wrote the lyrics and the song itself, which I think they have on their YouTube channel. Morgan designed the world and obviously wrote the Lord Have Mercy on his campaign as well. Jack did the rules. The design was Chris, and then the art is a mixture of Chris and Moritz Krebs. And Moritz's artwork is simply divine. It has this real medieval marginalia feel to it. Absolutely gorgeous. Explanation of what you need to play Doomsong. You will require a coin, Doom coin if you've got one, and if not, you know, live without. D6, your character sheets, your guild sheet, calendar, Panyum for tracking time and things like that. And then the book goes through everything you need. There's some of that artwork. Absolutely divine. So you create a guild. Like I say, you're all gravediggers. You have a terrible job. You are the lowest rung of humanity. And then the dead start rising. And so the gravediggers are more or less, their job description has changed. You now deal with the dead and rebury them when they get out and about. So that's always fun, I feel. And the way the character sheet works is you have a life path that gives you your skills and essentially your fall from grace. Very few people start as a gravedigger. Instead, what happens is they start as something else and then work their way back until they've reached the bottom. Shit flows downhill, I think is the phrase. And unlucky, at the bottom, you are the dam. Some nice examples of country folk names. So these are your different sort of archetypes coming in from various baronies and privileged backgrounds, and then where you go from there is through these. And you can rise and fall through the life path as you go, which is really nice. And then we have our actual sort of professions. So what were you before you became a gravedigger? Were you a servant or a scribe? Were you a brigand or a spy? Maybe you were just a drunkard. Sorry, a rake. You know, like Blackadder, if you want to play the prince, he would be a rake. You would have to oppose a marvelous set of socks, I think, is the way to go for him. So character creation is not complicated. It's not even particularly prolonged. You can create a character in 10 minutes or so. It's just a case of rolling or picking depending on what table you're on and working your way through it. Because as you can see, you get through this dread heresy, and at the end you've got your chance of 2 paths, and some of them are choices where you're going, well, I think my character would seek to clear their debt, that sort of thing. So we have all of this going on, and like I say, it's a wealth of development for a character. And some of the hardest parts when you're playing an RPG is, who is your character? Where did they come from? How do they know each other? And some people are better at latching onto those than others, especially new players. It can be quite difficult to go, here's my whole backstory. This does that all. Your life before is fixed, and then it's up to you to plow on from then. But at the end, you have the join the guild. So the last thing you do is you actually join the guild, and there is a guild, I wouldn't say a waiver, but you sign a contract with the guild as part of a group, and that sort of defines who you are now. And then after that, we have our rules themselves. So page 80 is where the rules start. Everything before that is background for your character, which is great. You get your rules, you get various types of abilities or skills that you can pick up through your life path. So if you'd been a doctor, you might have surgery. Potentially, if you'd been in a war, you might have surgery as well as some sort of battlefield skill or training. So you get different pieces like that. And then we get into the calendar of Panyum itself, which I won't dwell on too much because we have another book for that, which we'll look at in a moment. So all of this, first 190 pages-ish, is your character creation, your rules. So 2/3 of the book. And then our last 100 or so pages is the history of Panyum, which is the world you inhabit. And there are notable events. I say, the immortal, the God is dead, God has been killed, and the church has now rallied around the Church of the Divine Corpse, because they know he's dead, and it's just how things go. And then you have this sort of breakdown of society from the divine through to royalty, down to your exiles or people living on the fringes of society, and where everything fits into this sort of hierarchical pyramid, which is quite nice. You know your place, peasant, I think is the phrase. So this is, absolutely fantastic. Gives you a nice background, but it gives you in sort of bite-sized chunks, so you're not having to worry about reading tons of background to find out who the beadsmen are. Merciless, uncharitable, heavy-handed, bureaucratic, and soft-spoken. Sounds like me. In many places, the tax collectors are more feared than the wick finders, so your witches or wicks. They report non-compliance to the council for investigation and deliver the taxes to the priesthood. So that's all you need. And then you can sort of go from there. And then it gets into NPCs and beasts and other animals that you may find. And their stat line for gameplay, sort of dice and that sort of thing. So all of that, of which there are many and varied bizarre things to come across. Some more freaky than others. Was that an Operi? Did I say an Operi? I did. Operi I love. They are essentially vampire cats. Those creepy hairless cat looking things. And Operi are not right. And you get various levels of sort of Operidom once they move into an area, take control of a town or a village, and then start sort of their litter. From there, things go very badly wrong. So that is your core book with the flora and fauna within it, which is absolutely superb. There's one last part of the book, which you may have caught a glimpse of when I took the dust cover off. So your dust cover is also a GM screen / quick reference. So how do you run the game? So what goes into a check? NPC names for when somebody is going, well, you've met a fellow on the street, and you can quickly roll a couple of die and go, Petron. That's who you've met. What jobs they have, loot tables, everything you need, part of the dust cover of the book, along with quick reference for petty encounters. So just things that people may find as they travel from one place to the next. So that is Doomsong, the rules. All right, next up, we have Lord Have Mercy Upon Us. So this is Morgan's Magnificent Octopus. And what is potentially part one of a series of campaigns. And again, huge. So the initial campaign is about pestilence. So essentially you have the 4 horsemen are bringing the apocalypse to Panyum. So what we see here is hopefully the first of a quatrain, which may or may not be the correct term, of books. Again, we have a dust cover. This time round, it's for your players, so it contains a map of Panyum with the relevant, well, I suppose it's still for the GM. It's got the page numbers on it for various places within the Plaguescape, which is where the first campaign is taking places. You have loot tables again and encounter tables as well, telling you where things kick in from. Although I would pop that up in front of them just so they can see if you don't have a nice map of your own. This book, as you can see, is lovely, lovely faux black leather. And there's the obverse of the Doom coin. So rules have one side and then the campaign has the other. I'm just absolutely, I've seen the work that the Caesars have put into design and stuff for other games with other companies, but they've obviously just taken everything they've learned and went, we're going to do the very best version we can of our own game, and I'm just enamored. 1 is for hunger, 2 is for right, 3 is for memory, shining and bright, 4 is for power, expression and might, 5 is for duty and mothers in sight, 6 is the starkest and unblemished hide, 7 is darkest, the love of a bride. Praise be to he of legioned wrath. Go with grace beneath his fetid glory. I'm guessing that's Father Plague then. Speaking of, there is the gentleman. Again, art by Moritz Krebs. And then Jack, Chris have pitched in to Morgan's absolutely mighty tome. I will not be flicking through all of this because obviously there would be massive spoilers. But things like this were available during the Kickstarter campaign as a sort of they did a quick start set of rules along with quick character generation and a small scenario. So these people have already seen them. They're out in the wild with this little tale of possibly what happened at the very start with the Plaguescape and the Plague Father arriving. Absolutely gorgeous. So, how to use this book, the story so far for the GM, your adventure, the quest, new rules beyond what is in Doomsong, and bearing in mind how big Doomsong is, it means you could just run Doomsong for a while before picking this up. Although, why would you not want this? Sorry, this is the first time I've looked at it. It arrived yesterday and I thought I need to put it under camera. So I'm basking in it right now. So we have the campaign itself, the world, choosing a style of play. So you can go for a Chronicle, which is a traditional RPG campaign. I will say you do not need TT in front of that. Our RPGs came before computers. I say we retake RPG. If computer people buy something and they go, well, I thought this was ... and you just go, unlucky. Anyway, I digress. You can also play a Guild Marches campaign, which you get on page 11 of the Doomsong core book. It accommodates more players. Both the map of the Plaguescape and the guild sheet should be given to your groups at the start of the campaign, so a bit larger, more interesting. I'll dive into that later on. So, Lost Kingdom of Leth, which has been subsumed by the Plaguescape. Common knowledge, this is nice. So, what everybody will know. It's not esoteric knowledge. You don't have to have been a marauding gravedigger for decades to know this. Uncommon, so people may have an idea, and then rare knowledge. Definitely shouldn't be reading that, and the story so far. I will not go into any more of the book because it would give away an awful lot, but I do want to point out this. If I do that, they have numbering system at the side of the book, and these run throughout it, but they appear in different places with different numbers, and it's like a random generator. So when you're generating things, you don't need to always be rolling dice. You can use that sidebar to get your petty encounters or things like that. The wood itself, with more monsters and encounters in there. And then at the back we have our massive index. And this, at 345 pages, is bigger than the core rulebook. It gives me lovely nostalgic feeling, like Beyond the Mountains of Madness for Call of Cthulhu. You know, a expansion / campaign that's bigger than the core rules. It's what I want to see. Yes. So that's your 2 books. There's a few other bits and pieces you can get if you get the complete bundle. So let's take a look at those. Okay, so taking a look then at some of your other bits and pieces. These are secondary. You can just print out your other ones, but if you like a nice feel of a complete game, then you can do that. This is the character sheet, or rather pad of character sheets. The first of which contains the overview of your party, your guild members. So we have this, gives you your name, rank, traits, the equipment. It's a nice one for GMs to keep tabs on who's doing what and where. Then there is your Gravedigger's Guild. This is sort of the party setup. It contains, on the reverse, the contract of employment that everybody must read and then sign, containing things like what position and duties they have, hours of labour. Gravedigger shall adhere to the hours of labour as ordered by the Guildmaster or any duly authorised representative thereof. The Gravedigger may be called upon to fulfil their obligations on holy days and during nocturnal hours as necessitated by the exigencies of the Guild. Termination. The Guild reserves the right to immediately dissolve this contract without prior notice should the Gravedigger breach the hallowed rules and regulations of the Guild or otherwise commit an act of misconduct. So you get this. Once they've generated their character, there's a name and a signature space for the characters to sign their life away. So we've got a couple of these with some maps on them, and then one without. And then we hit our player character sheets. So the pad itself has 40 odd, I think it's 43 of these actual character sheets, which give you sort of your standard pieces, your birth, name, the heresy, their vows, player, name, and then a quick reference for the player themselves. And then below that you have your stats and equipment, any armor, protection they're wearing, any traits and abilities they've got are also on this sheet. So it's a nice little pad, also double-sided, so they've got a space for notes and then a space for checks. So this top part folds up to form like a little mini player screen that gives them all their details for quick reference. So they don't have to flip back and forth when they're playing. They can just have it folded up and it will be visible. So that's really cute. Then we have the calendar. And so this is the reason I didn't go into the calendar in the book too much. You can actually get a calendar, which has got, I'm not sure what this type of print is. I think somebody said it was UV to me a long time ago, but don't hold me to that. But it's a map book with a gloss print, which is also debossed into it. So again, you have the calendar with the zodiac, showing your seasons and the like on it, which is just really attractive. Back itself is relatively blank. And then in here, you have the calendar again. This book belongs to Guildmaster, and if found, please return to the Guild Hall, depending on who you are and where you are. So this explains, again, the calendar of Panyum. how to use it, the seasonal calendar and the liturgical calendar as well, what matches into what, how the seasons appear, the stars, the moon, what the sky is. Doomsong is set in the Age of Enlightenment. See page 194 of Doomsong. In the year of Astartum 541, this is the only solid date we have provided in the book, because it's only one which certainly matters. The events predating your campaign happened a few years back, or half a lifetime ago, or ... or in the ages of heresy and parable. So it's rather nebulous. It's not a society that has a lot of writing where you have to worry about that. And then after that, we get your calendar, and it is essentially a desk diary in world. So we start with the first week of spring in the House of Fortune ascending under the sign of Chance. And then you get your weather table. So as it progresses, you're more likely to have certain conditions at certain times of the year. So you can, when somebody goes, what's the weather like today? Well, you go, it's either stormy, overcast, foggy, blustery, icy, warm. The promise of summer peeks through the clouds. This weather lasts until the end of the week. All lace worker eggs begin to hatch, releasing thousands of tiny lace workers into the wilderness. Delightful. And then you have your days. So Deus Pontifex, Primus, Secundus, Tertius, Quartus. And then we go on from there. So if you are a very proprietary GM, you can actually track where your party are, what the time of the year is, that sort of thing, throughout this book, which is great. If you are like me, somebody who likes to wing it, then this is just really nice to have as a quick reference. You can just make a few notes, and then it gives you an idea of the prayers and bits and pieces that people will be doing in game. It's a really nice addition to have, unnecessary if you don't want to go for it. But if you're a completionist, why not? Here we have a breakdown from the Immortal through the various, I wouldn't say gods, levels of divinity, I suppose, maybe. Amortines, Lamentides, and Dreads, Amortines, Alluremorms, and Sublimes. So think of these as facets of specific things. So you've got Pestilence, which we currently have roaming the world, and Toil and Rot sort of come in from there. And then we have our history with the Unquiet Dead, your 3 ages from heresy to parable to enlightenment, just currently. And then before all of this was the Immortal. And then we have the rulers within Panyum. And then another very Baroque medieval feel here, where you have the world with the sea. I say the world, this corner of the continent. So the petty baronies, the Assortum, Leth, which has gone the way of the dodo, the Weald, so the wildy wilds outside of Phlegethon, Styx, Archeron, and the sea bounding it. So just a really, really nice addition if you are that type, and I very much am that type. We also have, again, not sure if you'll get the little Doomcoiny seal, but we also have a little deck of tarot cards, which are GM aids, if memory serves, because again, I've only just opened this, and I've not gone through the rules in a long time. Oh, these are just darling. Oh, silvery and shiny, so God knows how much of that you're actually going to pick up. But we have attack, corruption, death, fear, heal, impair, retreat, struggle, navigate, endure, forage, surgery, burn. and Commune. All of the artwork on those is stunning. Metal or foiled on a matte. Well, it's not even matte, it's like a satin black finish. Really good weight to them. And these are your, like I say, quick reference. So foraging, enduring, struggle. It means you don't have to go through the book the whole time. Maybe when you get really au fait with your game, you can not even bother with the book. Just bring the campaign book with you and your deck of tarot cards and off you go. Depending on how you run things. They will be getting a set of tarot card sleeves. If people are wondering, they are standard tarot card size, so 70mm by 120. If you want to get your sleeves in advance. Can I slip those back into that? Nestle them safely. Yes, I can. Great. I love the fact they've used the Doom coin to imprint that seal. Like I say, I'm not sure if that will be standard going forward or not. You can get the Doom coins, which are a nice 3mm metal coin with an enameling on it, black on the Doom side, and then the sickly plague green on the reverse. Something running all around it in Latin or Pig Latin or what, I don't know. Am I doomed? Yes, I am. Last but by no means least, the Plaguescape. There's a map. Everybody loves maps. This map is printed on canvas. So not black and white, or not completely black and white. The Weir Kin wood with the Elder Malice has got this greenish brown around it, and we also have that at the corner with the compass. Go with grace beneath his fetid glory. So lovely map of the whole kit and caboodle of the Plaguelands where they will be initially playing. Hand-stitched by one of the members of the Caesar Inc. crew. I can't remember if everybody had a hand or if the most competent got a go at it. So it has a rustic, rough and ready charm. So you're not getting a perfect squared off thing. It's slightly curved at the corners, which I do not mind one bit. I absolutely love the fact that they went, we're going to do a map, and we're going to do it ourselves. You too can visit the Muck Scoot bird catchers in Collow's Gog. I suggest you don't. Stinting upon Greg. What a great name. Or Greg. Oh well, Stinting upon Greg. So assumingly, Greg is the river. Anywho, yes, map, cards, coin, calendar. Not necessary, but if you do choose to dive into the world of Panyum, then those are all options to pick up with the main rules and the campaign book. So there you go. So there we have it, the macabre RPG Doomsong from Caesar Inc. Everything and more besides that you need to get started into the world of Panyum. Fantastic set of stuff. I mean, I'm just blown away by the quality. I absolutely love the setting, and hopefully it will give rise to more expansions in the future, more campaigns showing off what else is happening to the poor old immortal corpses nearest and dearest. Let me know what you think below, folks, and definitely check out the Let's Play that we did before the Kickstarter with the folks over at Caesar Inc. And say hi to Caesar for me. Render unto him which is his.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.